Welcome back to Exploring Whiskeys. I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin. And today we are going to be reviewing the Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat Recipe. So this is a special release that comes out from Buffalo Trace once a year, right after Passover. But it's basically the same mash build as what Buffalo Trace uses for the Weller lineup, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So instead of rye, it's putting in wheat as the secondary ingredient in the mash bill. So you got the corn, you got some wheat, and you got some malted barley. What do we know about this? We know it's, well, they don't really age state it, I think, on the bottle, but it's around 7 years old, and it is 94 proof. What's what the special reserve? 90?
I think so.
Is that released at 90? I know like regular Buffalo Trace is released at 90. So, but this should be closer to what Special Reserve tastes like.
So this, they clean the lines, like everything is scrubbed. It goes into the kosher barrels, and then it's sold to a non-Jewish executive
right before Passover.
And then the Chicago Rabbinical Council, there's a representative from there that is present at the transaction, the ceremony.
Yeah.
However you call it.
Yeah. Well, technically a transaction, but it's probably kind of a ceremony to.
So it's the lines are scrubbed. It's special barrels. I mean, it's
everything for the bottling is all taken care of, so that it doesn't touch anything that's not kosher.
Correct.
At any point.
Yep.
They do have 3 different kinds. They have this wheated release. They have a rye recipe release, so the secondary grain would be rye. And they also have a kosher rye. Okay. Where I'm not sure what the mash bill is, but rye would be the primary grain. So.
Cinnamons, vanillas.
A lot of baking. There's a lot of baking notes in this. So yeah, there's definitely some cinnamons, some vanillas.
I guess we'll need to put an S on the end of that, do we? Just cinnamon and vanilla, not cinnamons and vanillas.
Yeah. You're probably correct.
It's got a good nose.
Yeah, there's no problem with this whiskey. I think it's a really solid whiskey. Got a little fruit on that. The palate's got a little more fruit notes to it, some darker fruit notes. A little bit of the baking spice is still there.
Hot in the front.
Yeah, there's a cinnamon spice note that comes through, which I have seen in some other wheat whiskeys, like that Hunting Station wheat. Yep. That had a cinnamon note in there too. So that may be a cinnamon note in there, but it's really smooth. It's really easy to drink. It's very
mouth dried up though.
A little oaky note, maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't get an overly dry oak note.
Now I go back, and the cinnamon, the vanilla isn't as
right. It's
prevalent.
More just kind of sweeter notes, right? Yeah. It's sweet fruits. There is some of that baking spice still comes through. Overall, I mean, it's a pretty solid whiskey.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is going to be finding this.
That's just not with this bottle. That's just with the
Buffalo. That's true. I mean, a lot of Buffalo Trace is really hard to find just because everybody knows about Buffalo Trace. This particular one, I'm going to assume distribution is more geared towards areas with higher Jewish populations.
Yep.
So these bottles got muled back by Paul.
We have a gentleman in the Whiskey Club. He brought these back. I want to say he picked these up in Maryland.
Maryland? Okay.
Yep.
So, I know I've seen them in New Jersey.
I've never seen them here in Nashville. Never.
Yeah, I've never seen them here around here either.
But
in New Jersey, I've actually seen this on the shelf. But New Jersey has a higher Jewish population. You know, as in the New York area, North Jersey, there's definitely a pretty higher, just a higher Jewish population. I would think, you put a kosher product where you have more people that buy it. For the fact that it's kosher.
So I guess I didn't do the research before this, so I wonder if there's other. I gotta imagine there's other kosher spirits.
Probably. Well, I know the only
Well,
one is
outside of the Buffalo Trace, you got 2 more.
right. No, but I mean, there's probably, I know there's wines. There's definitely wines that are
Yep.
kosher, but I have to assume there's probably a few other
Okay.
kosher spirits
look
out
into
there.
that.
I don't know. I know this is the largest like whiskey distillery to have a kosher line.
Yep.
The Buffalo Trace Sazerac. Get a little apple note that popped in there.
Yeah.
Not super strong, but that fruit note is moving more towards an apple note.
I just took a very small sip, and on the front, I got like a green apple. Not on the nose, but on the taste.
All right, you got 2 options. Option 1, we compare this up with another wheated whiskey from the Buffalo Trace Distillery, or we've put some water in.
I think we go ahead and compare it to another wheat recipe.
Okay, let's
We
do
can
this.
always add water to both of them after that.
There you go. So if you grab that bottle down there, we'll slide. Yeah, sure. Let's slide some of these in here. All right, so Weller Special Reserve is 90 proof. So a few less proof, but it should be the exact same mash bill. So, ooh.
And retail, the price is half of that. Should be.
Yeah, Weller's 20 something. 20 should be
be.
mid 20s
Yeah.
is really what it should be. I don't know if you find it there anymore.
So we did have one of our friends. He was in a store over the weekend, one of his honey holes, and they had the kosher lineup, but they wanted $90 a bottle.
Okay. So more than double the MSRP.
Yeah.
The MSRP on the kosher bottles is 40. That's
wanted
a
90.
stretch. That's a bit stretch. But around here, it's probably that rare. So, all right. So let's see. Special Reserve. Hey, little thumbs up for that bottle open on that
Yeah.
Special Reserve there. Less on the nose.
Yeah.
Like way more muted. Yeah, I'm trying to get some more oils to come up.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's crazy. That is a really light nose. Comparatively, they're more, that vanilla and the fruit really came, and the baking spice came through much stronger on the kosher. That's,
I think it's
Sweeter.
smoother. Yeah, it's smoother.
yeah, there's less that baking spice. There's less oaky bite. Because there's a little bite in that kosher. Yeah, there's a little bit, there's definitely a difference there.
I get a lot more vanilla on the back end.
Yeah, I would say vanilla or a caramel note is much more apparent here. The baking fruit note is a little bit more apparent there. Odd. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, it should be the same mash bill. I don't know what the age on Weller is.
Oh, well, also the
Locations.
but if you're cleaning out the lines every time, what's the process on a normal run? Are they just once it comes in the masher, does it just they just continually fill?
Yeah, how much do they clean out from the last run of whatever?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there's probably significantly more barrels that are batched together to create this, and many fewer barrels.
Yeah,
batched
we've also
together.
said on
So,
other episodes from Buffalo Trace. I mean, they are all. It's certain areas of the warehouse is where they pull from. They've got specific areas for specific labels, so that has something to do with it as well.
man, you go A/B, it's really close.
Is it?
It is. Oddly enough, it's really close. This is, like I said, there's more baking spice. There's more of a fruit note in the kosher, but it's not that far off. They're pretty close. This is a little bit more caramel vanilla on the Special Reserve.
I want to say like this one smells younger.
Probably isn't though. I don't think Special Reserve. I think Special Reserve is like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but this one comes off.
Just a little sharper.
Yes, this smells younger.
That vanilla note's really strong now coming off of that guy. This is much sweeter. The Special
Yeah.
Reserve, much more
It's
of a
slightly
sweet note.
easier drinker.
Yeah. Well, yes. I don't know if I'd prefer
the
that
proof?
though. Well, no, I don't think 4 proof is going to make that big of a difference. I like the fact that this has a little bite. It's actually like a more nuanced drink with a little bit of bite behind it. All right, let's throw in some water. See which one has more oil to stir up. Ooh, that got more baking spice. Kind of came up.
That sharper note disappeared for me. What I was saying was, I felt like it was younger.
Yeah.
It went away.
I get more baking spice. Like to me, that vanilla note kind of muted out, and I get more cinnamon and some baking spice that comes through. Boy, that's sweet.
It's sweet, but I feel like it got dulled though.
Yeah, it muted out a little bit. Again, this is holding up a little bit better. Ooh, that oaky note came through a little stronger too. But baking spice, the vanilla, a little fruit, very little fruit now. The fruit went away.
The aftertaste for me is like a dried fruit.
Okay. I get more,
Like
it's
almost
almost
like a raisin.
Okay, I'm getting more towards that dry oak note now, and the leather, like almost. That is just like the nose. It kind of muted itself out. Mm-hmm. It's very thin and light, and
I don't like it with the water.
No. So right now, I'm going to say the kosher. I like the bite that it has, and it does hold up much better to the water. Be interested what that would taste like with a small cube. On a bigger pour, like a 2-ounce pour with a small cube. I really wonder what that would taste like. Yeah, I kind of feel like
I'll
the
have to
kosher.
say, I do enjoy the aftertaste after having both of them.
It's nice. I get a little oak, I get a little caramel and vanilla. Yep. Like there's a good, maybe a poor man's pappy of some sort.
Well, you can't go wrong, I think, with obviously either bottle.
No,
it's just good luck finding
either one.
Either bottle.
Depending on where you're at. If you are in an area, I'm going to assume Chicago probably gets a pretty decent amount. New York, New Jersey, maybe some parts of PA, but not too much. But Maryland, DC, like all that area, Virginia, you probably have a chance of finding this. And it's honestly, it's a pretty solid drink at $40, 94 proof, 7-year-old. It's not bad.
Nope, not at all.
That's not a bad buy. It's a pretty decent deal and could easily become a pretty solid drinker for anybody. This is great. It's a good whiskey. Just can't ever find it for the MSRP anymore.
No, and most people, even if you paid $30 for it, would be fine. Yeah. Again, it's
a little thinner.
Location.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. If you were in, well, it used to be Ohio. It used to be beautiful, but now that went away. But,
Texas
seems to always have them. Yeah, very true. So anyway, I'm going to say that the kosher wheat recipe, it's a very good whiskey. Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely something I'd grab if you see it on the, you see it on the shelf. It's worth grabbing.
We've got a third of this bottle left. If I saw it again, I'd buy it.
Yeah. Now I'm interested. I am interested to see what this tastes, what the rye mash bill tastes like as a comparison as well. That'll be coming up. That'll be coming up in another episode.
Yep.
Anyway,
well, it's a nice little AB.
It is.
Similar recipes, obviously different areas of the rick house where they're kept.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of their.
Very different.
It's a big part of their process.
Yeah.
You find both of them out there, I would grab one of each if you can.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you see this out there,
it's worth it.
It's absolutely worth it, especially if you can get it for around $40.
And just after Passover is when this gets released.
Not the 90 that our buddy was.
No, that's not worth it. No, it's not worth 90, but around the $40 comes out around Passover, which is also kind of cool because at least it's not the same time as all the other big releases. It's a different time of year, so that's kind of a cool part too.
Yep, absolutely. I enjoyed this review.
Very good.
A little AB test. We need to do more of those.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, we'd really encourage you to hit that like button at the bottom of the screen.
And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that bell icon. You get more content just like this, straight to your feed.
Yeah, help us continue to grow the channel.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching.
See you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.